The door creaked open without warning, and there stood Aurora, her eyes widening in shock as she caught me, Aubrey, mid-change, my blouse half unbuttoned, revealing the faded scar across my collarbone from a long-ago accident. I froze, heart pounding, expecting her to bolt or scream, but instead she stepped inside, closing the door behind her with a soft click, her face a mix of curiosity and concern that I'd never seen before. That moment, in our quiet suburban home in Seattle, shattered the fragile wall we'd built between us over the years, forcing words out that had been buried deep. I pulled my blouse closed, fumbling with the buttons, my mind racing. Aurora, what are you doing here? You should knock. My voice came out sharper than intended, laced with the defensiveness I'd honed from years of guarding my secrets. She was 22 now, no longer the sullen teenager who'd moved in with her mother and me 5 years ago, but still, she carried that air of quiet rebellion. Her blonde bob framed a face that mirrored her mother's, strong jaw, piercing blue eyes, but with a softness that made her seem vulnerable, even when she wasn't. She didn't back down. I heard you crying earlier. From the hallway. I thought, I don't know, maybe you needed help. Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken accusations. Crying. Had I been that loud? The afternoon had been a blur of memories crashing in. Another rejection from my estranged family. A curt email reminding me why I'd left the Midwest behind. But to admit that to Aurora? She was Elena's daughter, not mine, and our relationship had always been a careful dance around politeness, never crossing into intimacy. I sat on the edge of the bed, gesturing for her to join me, though part of me screamed to send her away. It's nothing. Just family stuff. But as she perched beside me, her proximity stirred something unfamiliar. A urge to unburden myself, to bridge the gap that Elena's busy law career had widened. Aurora shifted, her jeans brushing against my skirt, and I noticed the way her hands twisted in her lap, knuckles white. She had her own burdens, I knew. College stresses, the weight of expectations from a mother who demanded perfection. But was there more? Aubrey, she said softly, using my first name as she always did, refusing the mom label that Elena sometimes pushed. That scar. How did you get it? Her question caught me off guard, pulling me back to that night in my 20s, the car accident fueled by a heated argument with my parents over my sexuality. I'd come out to them expecting understanding but got rejection instead. Harsh words that led to me storming out, driving too fast on icy roads. The scar was a reminder of the crash, but more so of the emotional wreckage that followed. I hesitated, the words sticking in my throat. Why now? Why her? But looking into her eyes, I saw a flicker of empathy, perhaps even shared pain. It was a long time ago. I began, my voice trembling. I was young like you. I told my parents I was gay, and it didn't go well. They said things. Hurtful things. I drove off in anger and I trailed off, touching the scar absent-mindedly. Aurora's expression shifted from surprise to something deeper, a recognition that made my chest tighten. She nodded slowly. I get it. More than you think. Her admission hung between us, electric. What did she mean? Elena and I had kept our relationship open with her from the start, but Aurora had always seemed indifferent, dating boys in high school, fitting into the straight-laced image her biological father had instilled before he passed. But now, in this unexpected vulnerability, I sensed layers peeling back. I've been hiding something too, she whispered, her voice barely audible. The confession spilled out like a dam breaking. Aurora told me about Sarah, her college roommate turned secret girlfriend, how they'd stolen kisses in dorm rooms, terrified of being discovered. The fear of Elena's reaction, Elena's own coming out had been smooth, supported by progressive friends, but she held high standards for Aurora, pushing her toward a stable future. Mom would freak, Aurora said, tears welling. She thinks I'm straight, that I'm following her path but better. But I'm not. I'm like you, Aubrey. And it scares me. Her words hit me like a wave, stirring my own memories of isolation. I'd married Elena after years of lonely dating, finding solace in her acceptance, but the scars from my family's disownment lingered. Now here was Aurora, echoing my past, facing the same societal whispers that had haunted me. I reached out, placing a hand on hers, the contact tentative but real. You're not alone, I murmured. But hiding it. It eats at you. Trust me. We talked for hours that afternoon, the sun dipping low outside the window, casting long shadows across the room. Aurora shared stories of stolen moments with Sarah, the thrill mixed with paranoia, friends' offhand jokes about dykes, professors' subtle biases in class discussions on gender. I opened up about my own youth, the job I lost when a coworker outed me, the therapy sessions that pieced me back together. It was raw, unfiltered, each revelation pulling us closer. But as the conversation deepened, doubts crept in. Was I overstepping? Elena should be part of this, yet Aurora begged me not to tell her yet. I need time, she pleaded. I agreed, but the secret weighed heavy, a betrayal brewing in the silence. Little did I know this talk meant to heal would unravel threads I never saw coming. Family loyalties tested, truths exposed at the worst moments. Aurora left the room that evening with a hug, awkward but sincere, leaving me alone with my thoughts. What had I started? The scar on my skin paled compared to the ones on my soul, and now I'd invited her into that pain. Inner turmoil churned. Was helping her worth risking Elena's trust? The house felt smaller, the walls closing in with unspoken consequences. That night, dinner was tense, Elena chattering about her latest case while Aurora and I exchanged glances across the table, our shared secret a silent undercurrent. Elena, with her sharp bob and confident demeanor, noticed nothing at first, but as the days passed, the air thickened. I found myself watching Aurora more closely, noting how she checked her phone obsessively, likely texting Sarah, her face lighting up then dimming with worry. My own mind raced with what-ifs. What if Elena found out from someone else? What if Aurora's fear led her to reckless choices? The next morning, I cornered Aurora in the kitchen before Elena woke. How are you holding up? I asked, pouring coffee to mask my anxiety. She leaned against the counter, her pixie cut tousled from sleep, eyes shadowed. It's hard. Sarah wants to go public, but I can't. Not yet. Her voice cracked, revealing the depth of her internal conflict. I remembered that pull, the desire for authenticity clashing with self-preservation. Take your time, I advised, but inside I questioned my role. Was I enabling her secrecy, or guiding her through minefields I'd navigated alone? Work that day was a blur at the marketing firm, my thoughts drifting to Aurora. A client meeting turned heated when a colleague made a snide remark about those rainbow parades disrupting traffic, and I bit my tongue, the old anger simmering. Back home, Elena sensed my distraction. What's going on with you two? She asked over wine that evening, her eyes narrowing. Aurora froze, fork midway to her mouth. I laughed it off, just girl talk. But the lie tasted bitter. Betrayal gnawed at me. Elena and I had built our marriage on honesty, yet here I was withholding. Aurora's struggles escalated. She confided in me about a fight with Sarah, who accused her of being ashamed. Am I? Aurora wondered aloud in my study one afternoon, pacing. Mom's so proud of her life with you, but what if she sees me as a failure for this? Her words echoed my own past doubts, when I'd internalized society's view that being lesbian was a flaw. I shared a story from my early days with Elena, how we'd face stares at family events, whispers behind backs. It hurts, but living true hurts less in the end, I said. But was that wisdom or projection? The pressure mounted when Aurora's biological father's family reached out, a conservative aunt inviting her to a reunion in Texas. They'd disown me if they knew, she muttered, crumpling the email printout. I urged her to skip it, but she wavered, torn between loyalty and self. Inner voices clashed in my head. Protect her, or let her learn? That night I lay awake beside Elena, guilt twisting like a knife. Hiding Aurora's truth felt like reliving my own closet, but revealing it could shatter our fragile family bond. Then came the confrontation. Elena found Aurora's journal, left open in the living room. Entries about Sarah doubts fears. What's this? Elena demanded, waving the notebook as Aurora and I entered. Aurora's face drained of color, and I stepped forward instinctively. Elena, let's talk. But the words ignited a storm. Elena turned on me. You knew? And didn't tell me. Her accusation stung, exposing the rift my silence had created. Aurora burst into tears. It's my life, Mom. The room erupted in shouts, old grievances surfacing. Elena's absentee parenting during her career climb, my outsider status as stepmom, We argued late into the night, voices raw. Elena felt betrayed, questioning our partnership. How could you keep this from me? She hissed. I defended myself. She needed space like I did once. But doubt crept in. Was my empathy for Aurora clouding my judgment, prioritizing her over my wife? Aurora retreated to her room, slamming the door, leaving Elena and me in heavy silence. The healing talk had morphed into a wound, reopening scars I'd thought closed. The next day, Aurora skipped classes, holing up with Sarah. I texted her worried, but she replied curtly, "Need space." Elena and I barely spoke, the house echoing with unspoken blame. At work, I confided in a trusted friend, who warned, "Family secrets always explode." Her words fueled my inner turmoil. Had I healed anything, or just transferred my pain to them? Society's shadows loomed, media stories of queer youth rejected, statistics on mental health tolls. Was Aurora headed there? Reconciliation attempts faltered. Elena suggested therapy, but Aurora resisted, feeling ganged up on. "You don't get it," she snapped at dinner. "Growing up with two moms was supposed to make this easy, but it's not." Her words pierced, highlighting the irony. Our progressive family still bowed to external pressures. I pondered my choices. Had keeping her secret been moral or cowardly? The drama intensified as rumors spread at Aurora's college. A friend had overheard, and whispers turned to stares. Aurora came home one evening, eyes red. "Sarah broke up with me. Said I wasn't ready." The confession broke her, and she collapsed into my arms, Elena watching from afar. In that moment, the family fractured further, each of us paying a price for hidden truths. My initial vulnerability had sparked this chain, and now the consequences unfolded relentlessly. Weeks dragged on in a haze of tension, the house a battlefield of avoided glances and clipped conversations. Aurora threw herself into studies, avoiding home, while Elena and I navigated a fragile truce. Nights spent in separate rooms, words measured to avoid ignition. My mind replayed the inciting moment endlessly. If I'd sent her away that day, would we be here? But deeper, I questioned society's role, the ingrained homophobia that made coming out a war, even in liberal Seattle. Aurora's pain mirrored mine, yet amplified by youth's impulsivity. A turning point came when Aurora's aunt called, pressuring her about the reunion. "Family is everything," the woman said over speakerphone, oblivious to the irony. Aurora hung up, fuming. They'd hate me if they knew. I sat with her, sharing my own family estrangement. Holidays alone, birthdays ignored. "It hurts, but you build your own family," I said. But was that consolation or resignation? Aurora nodded, but her eyes held defiance. Maybe I should tell them. Shake things up. Her idea terrified me, visions of rejection, emotional fallout. Elena overheard, joining us uninvited. "Don't do it impulsively," she cautioned, her tone softer than before. For the first time since the blow-up, we talked as a unit, dissecting the moral quandary. Honesty versus self-protection. Elena admitted her fears. "I wanted to shield you from what I went through," revealing her own buried traumas from a conservative upbringing. The conversation peeled layers, exposing how generational pain cycled. But trust remained fractured. Aurora accused us of hypocrisy. "You live openly but expect me to hide?" The conflict peaked at a family dinner gone wrong. Elena invited friends over, hoping normalcy, but one guest, unaware, joked about those confused kids these days. Aurora exploded. "Confused? Try terrified because of people like you." The room fell silent, guests excusing themselves awkwardly. Elena's face flushed with embarrassment, turning to anger. "You can't lash out like that." Aurora stormed out, leaving me to mediate. Inside, I sided with her. The joke echoed the microaggressions I'd endured, but loyalty to Elena pulled me back. What price harmony? Alone that night, I confronted my reflections. Had my marriage to Elena been a shield, masking unresolved issues? Aurora's awakening forced me to face them. The next day, she announced plans to visit Sarah. To fix things. Elena objected, fearing distraction from school, but I supported her quietly, earning Elena's glare. "You're enabling her," she whispered. The divide deepened, my choices pitting wife against stepdaughter. Society's weight pressed harder when Aurora faced backlash at college. A professor, upon learning through gossip, assigned her a paper on alternative lifestyles, singling her out. "It's discriminatory," she ranted to me. "We researched Title IX protections, but the emotional toll mounted." I recalled my own workplace discrimination, the quiet demotions. "Fight it," I urged, but inwardly I worried about the cost: exhaustion, isolation. Aurora filed a complaint, bold but brittle, her resolve cracking under stress. Elena's perspective shifted slowly. "One evening," she confessed, "I was wrong to pressure you both." Tears flowed as she hugged Aurora. The first real embrace in weeks. But healing was tentative. Old habits died hard. Aurora's reunion decision loomed, a moral crossroads. Attend and lie or skip and sever ties. She chose the latter, emailing her aunt the truth. The response was swift, disinvitation laced with judgment. "Praying for you," it ended. Aurora crumpled, but in her pain strength emerged. "At least it's honest." My role evolved into confidant, but doubts lingered. Was I influencing too much, projecting my regrets? A betrayal surfaced when Elena discovered my encouraging texts to Aurora about Sarah. "You're choosing sides," she accused. The argument escalated, words like daggers. "You never fully committed to this family." Her barb hit deep, unearthing my insecurities about being the second mom. That night I slept on the couch, mind swirling with ethical dilemmas. Loyalty to spouse versus empathy for child. Aurora returned from seeing Sarah, reconciled but cautious. "We're taking it slow," she shared. The family dynamic teetered, each decision a thread in an unraveling tapestry. As high tension simmered, a larger crisis brewed. Aurora's mental health dipped, anxiety attacks from societal pressures. We sought therapy together, but sessions unearthed more conflicts. Elena's overprotectiveness, my enabling; Aurora's rebellion. The therapist's words echoed. "Truth heals, but timing matters." Had I timed it wrong? The drama crested with a public incident. At a campus event, Aurora and Sarah held hands, drawing stares and a confrontation from a conservative group. Videos went viral locally, tagging our family. Elena's firm called, concerned about image. The fallout was swift. Clients wavering, social media backlash. We huddled as a unit, facing the storm, but the damage was done. Each of us paid. Elena's career hit. Aurora's privacy invaded, my past dredged up. The initial talks ripple had become a tidal wave. In the aftermath of the viral video, our home became a fortress against the outside world. Calls from reporters, judgmental messages from distant relatives. Society's underbelly exposed. Aurora retreated inward, questioning her boldness. "Was it worth it?" she asked me during a late-night kitchen confab, her voice hollow. I wanted to say yes, but memories of my own exposures tempered me. "Freedom has a price," I replied, but inside guilt festered. Had my encouragement pushed her too far? Elena bore the professional brunt. Her promotion delayed amid whispers. "This is what I feared," she confided, her usual poise cracking. We argued less, united against external threats, but intimacy waned. Touches tentative, conversations guarded. My inner monologue raged. Sacrifice for love or self-preserve? Aurora's awakening had forced us all to confront mirrors we'd avoided. A moral quandary arose when Aurora's aunt escalated, threatening to contest the inheritance from her father, citing moral turpitude. Legal consultations followed, Elena diving in pro bono. "We'll fight," she declared, fire in her eyes. Aurora wavered, tempted to recant for peace. "Maybe I can pretend," she mused. I opposed vehemently. "That's erasure." But was my stance selfish, rooted in my unresolved anger? The debate tore at us, each choice laced with potential regret. Therapy sessions intensified, unearthing betrayals. Aurora admitted resenting Elena's absences, blaming them for her secrecy. Elena countered with her sacrifices, building a career to provide stability. I shared my outsider feelings, the stepmom always proving worth. Tears flowed, cathartic but exhausting. Progress inched forward, but setbacks loomed. Sarah distanced herself amid the publicity, leaving Aurora heartbroken again. "Everyone leaves," she sobbed. Her pain mirrored my youthful losses, stirring protective instincts. Society's claws dug deeper with online trolls targeting Aurora. Slurs, threats. We reported them, but the emotional scars lingered. I pondered the ethics. In a world quick to judge, was visibility victory or vulnerability? Aurora's food intake dropped, sleep evaded. We watched helplessly. Elena suggested a family retreat, but Aurora refused. Running won't fix it. Her defiance inspired yet worried me, echoes of my reckless youth. A pivotal confrontation occurred when Elena's mother, long estranged, called. Supportive of our marriage, she offered advice. Lead with love. It softened Elena, prompting an apology to Aurora. I projected my fears onto you. The moment healed a sliver, but trust rebuilt slowly. I facilitated but questioned my neutrality. Was I manipulating dynamics for redemption? Aurora's college responded to her complaint, disciplining the professor. A small win amid chaos. Emboldened, she joined a LGBTQ support group, finding solidarity. They're like family, she told me, eyes brighter. Jealousy flickered in me. Had I failed as her support? But growth demanded release. Elena and I attended a session, facing our biases, her perfectionism, my over-empathy. The drama twisted with an unexpected ally. My brother, silent for years, reached out via email. Saw the news. Proud of you. His words stunned, cracking my armored heart. I shared with Aurora. Sometimes time changes people. She nodded, applying it to her aunt's silence. But reconciliation carried risks. False hope? We debated, Aurora opting for caution. As tensions eased, a new betrayal surfaced. Elena confessed to confiding in a colleague about Aurora, seeking advice, unintentionally fueling office gossip. Aurora felt violated. My story isn't yours to share. The argument reignited old flames, Elena defensive, me mediating. Inner conflict peaked. Side with wife or validate stepdaughter? I chose honesty. We all make mistakes. The admission bridged, but scars remained. Months passed, the storm subsiding. Aurora and Sarah reconciled tentatively, boundaries clearer. Elena's career stabilized, lessons learned. I reflected on the journey, the initial shock birthing growth amid pain. But doubts persisted. Had the costs outweighed benefits? Family dinners resumed, laughter tentative but genuine. Aurora's confidence grew, advocating on campus. Yet the ethical tightrope walked, choices right or wrong. The healing talk had transformed us, but at what ultimate price? With spring came tentative renewal, the Seattle rains giving way to blooms that mocked our lingering shadows. Aurora graduated, cap and gown a symbol of resilience, Sarah by her side openly now. Elena and I clapped from the audience, our hands linked, a quiet victory over fractures. But memories of the inciting moment lingered. Aurora's wide eyes, my exposed scar, reminders of vulnerability's double edge. Post-graduation, challenges persisted. Aurora moved out, sharing an apartment with Sarah. Independence a mixed blessing. Visits home revealed her growth, confident, unapologetic, but also strains. Job hunts marred by subtle biases, interviews probing personal life. They ask about family, she vented. I shared strategies from my career, but inwardly lamented the unchanged world. Elena, softer now, offered connections, mending bonds. A final moral test arrived with the aunt's olive branch, a hesitant email apologizing, citing faith's evolution. Aurora debated responding, weighing forgiveness against hurt. Does she deserve it? She asked us over coffee. Elena advocated caution, I pushed empathy, mirroring my brother's outreach. Aurora chose reply, guarded but open, the decision a testament to her maturity. But success? Time would tell. Our family dynamic settled into a new normal, honest if imperfect. Elena and I renewed vows privately, recommitting amid lessons learned. We survived, she whispered. Yet I pondered the damages. Aurora's lost innocence, Elena's professional scars, my resurfaced traumas. Was awakening worth the wreckage? Aurora thrived in her first job at a nonprofit advocating for queer rights, channeling pain into purpose. It's because of that talk, she told me during a walk. Gratitude warmed but guilt shadowed. Had I catalyzed healing or chaos? Society's progress felt illusory. Laws advanced but hearts lagged. Reflections deepened in quiet moments. The initial intrusion had unveiled truths, forcing confrontations with inner demons, familial pressures, societal bigotries. Each character paid dearly. Aurora's heartbreak, Elena's betrayals felt, my ethical grapples. But growth emerged, stronger bonds, authentic lives. As the story closes, Aurora faces a new dilemma. A promotion requiring relocation, straining her with Sarah. She seeks our counsel, the cycle continuing. We've navigated shocks, consequences, awakenings. But the core question lingers, sparking debate. In the face of societal prejudice, is hiding one's true self ever the morally right choice?